Hi everyone, greetings. I'm Dr. Jan Östman-Lind.
And I'm Anya Driscoll-Lind.
And we are the KULA NAIA Foundation. You may know that recently the National Marine Fisheries Service enacted a new rule to protect Hawaii's spinner dolphins. It is now illegal to swim with or even approach spinner dolphins closer than 50 yards in Hawaii.
In addition, NMFS has proposed a regulation to protect 5 spinner dolphin resting areas in the main Hawaiian Islands. 4 of these are on the Big Island, and 1 is on Maui.
We at the KULA NAIA Foundation strongly support these efforts by NMFS to increase the protection for Hawaii's spinner dolphins. The ban on swimming with spinner dolphins and approaching closer than 50 yards was a great first step, and this new proposed rule for time area closures of essential daytime habitat is crucial to better protect the spinner dolphins when they're trying to rest. We intend to write letters of support for these additional protections, and we urge you to do the same. The public comment period on these additional protections ends on December 27th this year. There is a link below to the Federal Register where you can enter your comments.
As background, it's important to understand that Hawaiian spinner dolphins are nocturnal animals that feed offshore at night and rest during the day close to shore in Hawaii. They rest in the parts of protected bays and coves that have a sandy bottom. There are a few key points that you can make in your letters of support. Thankfully, we have data collected from shore during a citizen science community monitoring project that covered key resting areas that are being considered on the island of Hawaii. And in the following videos, we'll share more of our data with you. But for now, we'd like to provide you with a summary of some of the key arguments in support of protecting these critical resting areas.
So the first key point is that the only purpose for humans to use core resting areas was to swim with dolphins. During our observations, people only used the core resting areas in these bays when the dolphins were there. There are no recreational or traditional activities that are based in the dolphin resting areas. Therefore, the principal reason the people were in those sections of these bays was simply to swim with spinner dolphins. When people were in those areas, they spent their time trying to get very close to or even touch the dolphins.
The second key point is that the shore-based observations consistently found that dolphins responded to the presence of people by increasing the amount of high-energy, acrobatic, and fast-swimming behavior several-fold. And therefore, the majority of the dolphins were clearly not resting in the presence of people. This increase in high-energy behaviors were displayed during most of the time that dolphins were in the resting areas in the presence of humans.
However, and this is another key point, and that is that we can all be optimistic that all spinner dolphins need to return to resting in these areas will be to exclude people. This is because a natural experiment occurred when a 6.7 magnitude earthquake struck the island of Hawaii in October 2006. This caused a large landslide in Kealakekua Bay. For safety reasons, people were excluded from entering the resting area for over 2 weeks. Fortunately, the Citizen Science Monitoring Program was collecting data from shore before, during, and after this event. The observations show that the dolphins quickly went back to their traditional resting behavior as described before swim with dolphin activity started. This clearly indicates that this is the dolphins' preferred behavior in these resting areas.
Another key point is that as a result of the ongoing human pressures in the optimal resting areas, spinner dolphins are now using less optimal areas along the coastline. When combining the data from several known studies of spinner dolphins in the Kona coast, it's clear the whole population of dolphins spent less and less time in their preferred traditional resting areas, and they've increased the amount of time they spend in less optimal resting areas. They even used areas they had never before been observed to use for this purpose.
So to review the key arguments for protecting resting areas, according to the citizen science study, the key arguments for supporting the establishment of these protected resting areas within the designated bays are, first of all, the people only used the dolphin resting areas when the dolphins were there. When in the resting areas, people followed, approached, and even tried to touch the dolphins. In response, the dolphins increased the number of high-energy, acrobatic, and fast-swimming behaviors several-fold. Therefore, they were not resting. When humans were excluded from the resting area, the dolphins quickly went back to their traditional resting behavior, clearly indicating their preferred activity there. Comparing all data collected on spinner dolphins over the last few decades suggests that they have changed how they use the Kona coast. They now use their preferred resting areas less and use less optimal areas instead.
We support the new NMFS proposed rule as an essential next step. We'd like to see extended the time area closure rule to all spinner dolphin resting areas in the main Hawaiian Islands. And we'd like to see interpreter centers established associated with all these affected resting areas so that trained local residents can provide accurate information on both the scientific and the cultural aspects of not only spinner dolphins, but these unique and wonderful marine areas.
There is a link below to the Federal Register where you can submit your comments. For more information, you can go to www.kulanaia.org/conservation. And in coming weeks, we will share 2 to 3 more videos with more detail and data from the Citizen Science Monitoring Project. Thank you for your time and listening to this presentation. We hope you will write a letter of support. If you have any questions, please contact me at jan@kulanaia.org. Mahalo.